Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture and just check where you're at tonight. So feet flat on the floor. Make sure you're aligned, nicely aligned. Lengthen the spine, and just I won't go through our settling meditation because we're out of time. But just imagine from the crown of the head all the way down through the body, through the limbs, out through your fingers and toes, just relaxing, releasing any tension from the day, whether it be physical or emotional. And just allow yourself to go inside a little bit and just reflect on your day from the moment you woke up this morning. And bring to mind all the people of your life. Your loved ones, the ones you not quite so loving towards, and then those you're strangers. Bearing in mind they can all change place at any time. The relationship can change place at any time. And also bear in mind these people, they're equal. They're the same as us in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for the Buddha mind. Excuse me. So I think that we'll do this Vajrasattva purification practice this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And if there's anyone in your life right now who's not very well or having some kinds of problems, please think of them. You can imagine they're sitting right beside you. I have a friend who's come down with a really severe cold. Her name is Linda. And where it would normally be okay, this person depends on her yoga teaching in order to be able to make a livelihood. So then there's this extra stress when we get ill, that we the bills are running up, and then we don't have any way to deal with that. So maybe there's someone in your life who's not very well right now, or maybe also struggling financially, something. So I think we'll do this practice for their benefit and for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. So thinking there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification practice is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally create positivity with our mind instead. So think like this: I sincerely regret from the depths of my heart anything you've done to harm any living being today or in this life or in any past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, you can regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we can't bear the thought of any kind of future suffering because we already know what that feels like. So we want to make sure we remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon the Buddha's methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, if you have one, your spiritual guide, your spiritual mentor. manifesting in this form for your benefit. Oh, interesting. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. You can imagine this Vajrasattva that you're seeing in front of you is made of radiant, blissful white light. So not just like this two-dimensional painting, Thangka painting that you see. And he's on your crown. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you. And excuse me. And all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we have a little section on developing compassion. So this is also part of refuge. And why? Because we need other beings in order to be able to develop compassion. So this is how it works. You bring to mind all those people that you have harmed, and you develop a sense or a wish for them to be free from suffering. And this is what arises in your mind when you see a puppy that's been hurt. And so then also think of the people who have harmed you. Now, this one's a bit more difficult. Because of the harm that they've caused you, they're going to be experiencing a considerable amount of suffering in the future. And the timing of that is really unsure. So it could be inconvenient for them. So have compassion for them because of that. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the benefit of all these people of your life, and by extension, all of these sentient beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine. And so we do this recitation of the mantra and visualization. We start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, very forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajamami mutta vajabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Didu meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Didu meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So just think every time they see you or feel you or even smell you as you're walking past, it benefits their mind. So next is the purification of the speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and inappropriate speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dira meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe. So again, feel so happy. Your speech is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So just think the moment somebody hears the sound of your voice, perhaps someone is feeling unhappy or depressed or something like that, maybe you imagine you have the wisdom to know exactly what to say that will benefit their mind. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately again sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you just flick on that switch and the light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and violence and depression, resentment and jealousy, bitterness, grudges, anxiety, disappointments, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita. Dira meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dira meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. And think there's no space in your heart now because all of this is gone. All the delusions are gone and there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this is just like a final extra wash in a way. So you imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends light and nectar, and just imagine it completely eradicates all the negative energy, even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita me, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajamami Mutta Vajabawa, Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe. And Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. Just imagine there's not a single atom of negativity left in your mind stream, and even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and this is a really important stage of the purification processes where we make a decision to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. It's just so simple. Kind of once you make that decision, the rest just falls into place and starts to take care of itself. But we do need to do a little bit of work. So we just think of something that you know, start with something easy. Don't start with something that's kind of that triggers you or is a bit difficult. Start with something that you know you can get on top of, and just do it, work on it for 5 seconds or a day or 5 minutes, or if you think you can do it for a week, just whatever works for you. Just think of something that will work on either this week or between now and tomorrow. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So you've merged. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness, a little bit in emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. And in this way, we can see all phenomena as being empty. They don't exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things are appearing to me, the way I interpret things, the stories I make up, may not necessarily be real. Well, they may not exist in the way we think they do. A good example is all the stuff that goes on in our head. Let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's swift return, the lamp of the Gaiden teachings, the supreme refuge Lama Zopa, has departed in order to rouse the Dharma disciples who cling to permanence. Supreme Being, you took upon yourself the Kadam teacher's way of life and were bound to it night and day, greatly benefiting the teachings and transmigratory beings. Great Master of the teachings, supreme guide for East and West hidden yogi, Lama Tupten Zopa, unrivaled Lama Zopa, you took His Holiness, the Sovereign Lord of the Victorious Ones, as your crown and followed all his instructions. Benefactor Lama Zopa, for the many public and personal needs of Tibetans and others, you opened the vase of resources and cleared away the suffering of hardship. One of great mind, Lama Zopa, you held helpless and voiceless animals with a mind of loving kindness and were their holy savior and protector. Siddha Lama Zopa, Lord of the ocean of mandalas, with the wings of emptiness and compassion, you crossed the waters of the generation and completion stages. Lama Tupten Zopa, great hidden yogi, ornament of the activities of the Gaiden teachings, in truth, a great son of the victorious ones. Having thought of me and other transmigratory beings of the degenerate age from your seat of lotus and sun, at the heart of Sangwa Yeshi, may the jewel that fulfills all wishes, emanating again with the brilliance of 10,000 suns, smile swiftly without obstacles to our eyes, filled with tears of faith. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, To you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe-Share, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay. Shayla, thank you for hosting. I want to see everyone. So tomorrow evening, we've got our introduction to mindfulness. And so what I'll do is continue. I think we're moving in tomorrow to continue with functional thinking and then loving kindness. So I might do that meditation again tomorrow morning. All right, if everyone's okay with that. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Some of you, I'll see you tomorrow morning. And lots of love. Thank you so much for showing up this evening.
Thank you, Venerable.
And nice to see you again, Krista. I haven't seen you for a little while.
That was gorgeous. Thank you.
Welcome back. Okay, lots of love, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you,